I wanted to do this uh, video. I think I have a little bit left space. I'm watching 60 Minutes tonight, and they have the best of psychiatrists on there talking about mental illness, schizophrenia, paranoia that the shooters at Virginia Tech, the shooter uh, that ended up shooting himself, and there are a number related there to mind control, and that was a mind control one. And you got these psychiatrists talking to I've forgotten the gentleman's name who's interviewing them on 60 Minutes, talking about the mentally ill, psychotic drugs, they're schizophrenic, um, all this stuff. They brought up the very ones I've always said to the Aurora, Colorado. You can prove these. They were deliberately done so that can be proven. I don't know if it will. The whole thing, the Sandy Hook, um, what was it? Oh yeah, the James Holmes at Aurora, Colorado. And this goes back to when I started telling them, and I thought of one of the first that I started telling about years ago in 70 or close to 80. It wasn't the first, but Von Bulow, that his wife died. He was German, and she was an American, and she went into a coma. And he was charged, but that was one of the ones that stood out in my mind tonight when I'm watching this. Why I was led into putting together a puzzle and telling it, and all it's caused is heartache and pain for me. Mind control, I'm going to say it again for all these good psychiatrists that put some of the mind control people in prison in Butner, North Carolina, where they put um, Larry Flint and tortured him. He was shot by a person that was programmed. It's unreal to me. What a person here in Roanoke years ago, and I'm not going to say his name, he did help me, and for that, I mean, he didn't kill anybody. He ended up in Butner, North Carolina. So if these doctors, they do know. You can Google, you can go to Mind Control, MK Ultra. That is not who's done the ones that I talk about. And quite frankly, when I hear them talking about giving these people drugs, psychotic drugs, and that it's not easy to lock them up, that's a lie. What is going on here is using mind control as a weapon, a war weapon. You can program mass now. I started telling in early 70. MK Ultra was doing it in 53. It went before Congress. They were supposed to stop. A slap on the hand. It was going on with the Tesla when the Feds stole it in early 30s. And I don't know before then. But I went to, and my husband even did, back when I was doing the book in 77, 78, MD, A License to Kill, and I wrote about mind control then. And I went to 60 Minutes. I've gone here. They have a gag order on it. National security involved. If you tell it, you tell about me being kidnapped, then they go in and shut you down. All these TV and media that's owned by the New World Order, Elizabeth, Mountbatten, Windsor, Mountbatten, Rockefellers, Rothschilds, well, the New World Order. The media's not going to tell it. It's controlled. The only person you'll hear any of the truth is on premiere with Coast to Coast. So I'm going to quit because I've put it on here. What they do is they program people and they make them have symptoms of mental illness when they're not mentally ill. A good psychiatrist, and this is not just my word, I've Googled this and Wikipedia, and it's true. A good psychiatrist can certainly tell the difference. And by the way, I'm going to mention this again because this goes right back to Virginia Tech, the 33 shootings, and there was a lot of the shootings that's mind control there that the media hasn't connected, even though I have taken my time and my money, what little I have, and I have sent it to them. I have gone over the years. The Fort Hood shooter was a psychiatrist who went to school. I don't know how much more I have to say. Well, next thing they do is come out and handcuff me, right? And to tell you it's not easy. They're using the mental health um, to lock you up. Anybody that's a dissident against the government, um, you get locked up. You get fed psychotic drugs, and man, you wish you were dead then. Now then, Timothy McVeigh told everybody before he blew up the Oklahoma City Murray Federal Building that in the military they put a chip up his butt. And amen to that, because this can be proven. He's dead. And you're listening to 60 Minutes. My husband went to him when I did the book. I went to him numerous times. I've gone to them here in Roanoke. And the letters back will say, we cannot. Well, I tell you who did it too. David Hartman with ABC. I wrote him. You know how many people I've written, and maybe they might try to help. They get fired quicker than you can say boo. Oh, they've got something on here about the killing of Kennedy now. They've made mine sound, if people didn't care to check it out, the Kennedys, Joe Kennedy, kidnapped me. He helped George VI, the one the movie was made of, is my uncle. My father's the real King Edward VIII. An imposter married Wallace Simpson. I mean, you can look at that alone, a 99-year seal put on it to shut up a total lie that gave power to his brother, George VI, which was Elizabeth, and now Charles and Will and Kate and little George. And I'm going to run out of time and can't put this up, and it won't do me any good anyway. They just say I'm rambling or something because I can't fight what's going on. So I might as well quit, I guess. Except I will say this, the Navy Yard shooter, the Aaron Alexis. These crimes, and the weird thing is that most of these, there's plenty of crimes that go on that don't fit into patterns because they aren't mind control patterns. And there's a lot of killings that happen using it. It's as simple as making a phone call and giving you a hypnotic suggestion. And yes, I've got names and I've got all of that. But you think anybody will listen to it? No. The reason they won't tell about it is that it would go back, because I'm the one telling it, and the ones that are doing it has deliberately set it up that way. They did for me to tell it. I don't know if it ends bad for me, worse than it's been, or it's finally told. But the one thing I don't want people to say is they didn't know, because anybody could look it up and say, hey, what's really going on here? And the reason that they won't tell it is because of my kidnapping and the taking down of my father and my mother's, Georgia O'Keeffe, the artist, her sister, Claudia Ruth O'Keeffe. It's been the biggest cover-up in history. And Elizabeth and my Uncle George allowed the United States with the illegal treaties back in '39 to put their bases all over everything British. The British Empire went. The sun never set on the British Empire. The United States controls it all now through the NATO treaties, which are illegal if they're signed by Elizabeth and her father, because I'm the legal heir. They kidnapped me, brought me over here, gave me the name Peggy Ann Childers, a twin. And so a lot of this has been done using twins in it, too, in the patterns. So I'm going to go. They'll come and handcuff me.